Hey everyone, this is Lenny. Here are my favorite movies of 2024. This was a crazy year for movies. We had some insane horror, we had some amazing animation, and some great drama, and even the return of some great comic book action as well. So let's just get into this. Now, the movies on this list are those that I have reviewed specifically on this channel. So there may be movies that I may have seen, but I just haven't had a chance to review. And because of that, they won't be on this list. Before we get into my actual top 10, I want to give a quick honorable mention shout out to Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. Yes, I know that movie bombed. I don't give a fuck. I love the hell out of that movie. It is a kaleidoscope of chaos that George Miller brought us with this prequel story of Furiosa played by Anya Taylor-Joy and her going for revenge against Chris Hemsworth and bringing back Immortan Joe and all of the crazy landscapes in this amazing desert wasteland. I know the movie bombed. It's probably going to be the last time we're going to see George Miller's Mad Max universe for a while, but I don't care. This movie was awesome. It's one of the most gorgeous films of the entire year. I saw it in IMAX. I do not apologize for loving it. 2024 was a good year for two genres, horror and animation. And for me, one of the absolute peak animated movies this year was The Wild Robot, a beautiful looking and touching story of a robot who crash lands on a planet only to learn how to raise a duck, and through that experience, learns to grow past its own programming. Yes, we are all frightened of AI because we expect when it hits sentience, it will embrace its cold programming. But there is a possibility that perhaps it will simply learn to enhance parts of our best selves, like love and understanding. You would never think that the best parenting movie of 2024 would be between a robot and a duck, but here we are. And Chris Sanders, who has also directed the original Lilo and Stitch and How to Train Your Dragon, is low-key crafting one of the best filmmaking resumes in all of Hollywood. For me, the absolute best time, the most entertaining movie in regards to celluloid to smile ratio, outside Smile 2, in 2024 was Deadpool and Wolverine. And why wouldn't it be? We were pretty much guaranteed a great time at the movies. And if Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman didn't deliver in the MCU's biggest movie in years, I think the world would have collectively rioted at the gates of Disneyland. But from the very jump, when the merc with the mouth has to fight off the TVA using the most unconventional means imaginable, the claws are off. The chemistry between our leads is amazing, the script is inventive and funny as fuck, and man, that finale was some of the best fist-pumping eye candy since, well, Avengers Endgame. This movie proved Ryan Reynolds always knew what he was doing when he took over the Deadpool character. Marvel can create wild and compelling R-rated comic book fare, and I am damn sure not ready to see Hugh Jackman walk away from the Logan character just yet. Just a wild, amazing time from start to finish. From the moment I saw the trailer for Late Night with the Devil, I knew this movie would be great, and goddamn, it didn't disappoint. This awesome new take on found footage horror found its way into movie theaters and living rooms, giving us what should be a simple tale about the devil taking over a late night talk show on Halloween in 1977. But there was nothing simple about this movie. From the amazingly well-written guests, to the star-making performance from David Dastmalchian, the Kinares brothers paints a portrait of early satanic panic in media and goes all the fucking way with it, leaving us with a truly memorable, terrifying, and all-around entertaining time at the movies. This is a new horror classic I will be playing every Halloween season. Yeah. Robert Eggers don't miss, and Nosferatu pretty much shows that he is one of the absolute premier filmmakers on planet Earth. We get a modern retelling of both the 1922 and 1979 vampire epic, with Eggers definitely drawing inspiration from Werner Herzog's Bleak Tale. But this isn't Max Schreck's or Klaus Kinski's Count Orlok. It isn't even Willem Dafoe's. Bill Skarsgård vampire monster is just that, a monster in every way possible. Just as Francis Ford Coppola took Bram Stoker's Dracula to weave a tale about the power of love, Eggers uses Nosferatu to give us a cautionary tale about obsession and power, with everyone from Nicholas Hoult, Willem Dafoe, and Aaron Taylor Johnson all bringing the goods. But this movie belonged to Lily Rose Depp, who conjured up some of the most deliciously batshit gothic acting this way of Joan Collins in a Hammer horror movie, and this has one of the best closing shots of any movie this year. God damn, horror has been so good in 2024. Let Robert Eggers make whatever the fuck he wants. In the first case of the sequel surpassing the original on my list, we got Denis Villeneuve's Dune Part 2, and first, just look at this movie. This was the best looking movie of the year, totally justifying that IMAX ticket price, but we got a deeper, more complex exploration into Frank Herbert's universe as we follow Paul Atreides and Lady Jessica as they live with the Fremen on Arrakis. We get a really poignant story about the power of true leadership versus false prophets out of it, and I don't have to say that all of the actors, from Timothée Chalamet to Zendaya and Javier Bardem and Rebecca Ferguson, all delivered. But give me more of that goddamn amazing Hans Zimmer score and Greg Fraser's cinematography. This is a movie I could just bathe in. Man, and Nora was that movie that came out of nowhere and blew my mind. All of these other films at some point on this list I already had an awareness of, but in Nora I went in totally cold, and when I walked out after a 3-minute standing ovation at the Windsor International Film Fest, I knew I had seen something special. This is basically Pretty Woman in the real world, and what it would be like if the world got a true fairy tale romance in a similar vein. I don't have to say Mikey Madison may have given the best performance of the year. Most everyone else is saying that, but she is the frontrunner for Best Actress at the Oscars, and her absolutely fearless performance as a Brooklyn sex worker who gets in way over her head when she falls for the son of an oligarch is something to witness. But this movie isn't just about her performance. Sean Baker's honest and witty script and pitch-perfect direction crafts a piece about, well, can love conquer all? At least between a hooker and a billionaire? Julia Roberts and Richard Gere, this is not, but honestly, for me, this is better. I said the same thing about Midsommar when it came out, and some people gave me the side eye, and I didn't care then, especially since the film is considered to be one of the best horror films of the 21st century, and I'm going to say it now for this movie. Longlegs is going to be the horror film that in 5 years, people are going to go back and say, yeah, this movie is fucking boss. In terms of a straight up dark horror movie, no other film affected me the way this did. The tale of an FBI agent chasing down a serial killer who she has personal ties to went down a rabbit hole I don't think a lot of people expected it to go down, and I think the film's cold, clinical nature thrust into the world of what may be supernatural may seem like tonal whiplash at times, especially when Nicolas Cage's madcap titular character appears. But like I said in my review, when the film and the character of Longlegs appears, this is a straight descent into hell. Osgood Perkins' directorial debut is one of the bleakest movies of 2024 and wears its 7 influences on its sleeve proudly, and I am down for it. Watch this movie again. Watch how it's edited. Listen to its sound design. Everything has a purpose leading up to that unsettling finale. Some may call Longlegs overrated. I say some just need time to catch up. I hope this movie walks away with at least some hardware at the Academy Awards, cause my god, for my money, the best original movie of the year was Curly Fargy's intensely memorable, aggressive, and fucked up The Substance. This insane fable about the ridiculous pressures placed on women's bodies, especially when it comes to aging, for me was perfect in every way. From the way out concept to Demi Moore's and Margaret Qualley's career-defining performances, to the script, and yeah, let's say it, body horror. Sometimes you get body horror that is just fun and fucked up like David Cronenberg's The Fly, and sometimes you get body horror that tries to say something about society like Society. This was the best of both worlds, a fun, in-your-face, always entertaining piece of pop art that still gave you a little something to think about. Yeah, The Substance was fucking wild and I adored every second of it. 2 movies made me cry this year. 2. It's rare to have one movie rip out my heart at that level, but maybe 2024 just turned me into a pussy. Or maybe Superman, the Christopher Reeve story, was just the film we needed this year. The DC documentary that focused on the incredible life of actor and activist Christopher Reeve, who inspired millions playing the Man of Steel on screen and inspired millions more as an unapologetic activist for the disabled after his tragic accident that left him a quadriplegic, was powerful, moving, and rousing. From the opening moments that dropped John Williams' iconic score, we were thrust into the life of a complex man who, while brilliant at his craft, still had several issues of his own to work out. What was a great surprise was the focus on Dana Reeve and how her inspiration was the hope behind the man whose logo inspires the same in billions. This was a touching look into the life of a man who, for many, is still their Superman. It is really rare when my favorite movie of the year is also the box office champ of that same year, but here we are, and I have the tears to prove it. Pixar's Inside Out 2 is my favorite movie of 2024. When we return to Riley's head now as a teenager and she, along with joy, sadness, and the others, have to navigate a slew of new emotions, in particular anxiety, who for me was the most heartbreaking character of the year. This movie is a masterpiece. Kelsey Mann's directorial debut crafted a tale about the antagonists we create in ourselves, sometimes created out of the best intentions, and the moment where anxiety tried to take over Riley's head was the most panic-inducing scene in all movies for me this year. As someone who wears my bipolar condition proudly on my sleeve, I will do everything to champion this captivating movie that was literally made for everyone and was made in a way that everyone can relate. When all those emotions embraced anxiety at the end, yeah, this movie fucked me up. And I watched it again, and it fucked me up again. Yeah, Pixar is back in a big way. And if this doesn't win Best Animated Feature everywhere, I will be confused. It's the highest grossing animated movie of all time for a reason. This expanded on and surpassed the original for me, which is already an essential movie. And Inside Out 2, my favorite movie of 2024, has launched what I consider an essential franchise for me. And those are my favorite movies of 2024. What were your favorite movies of the year? Share your thoughts, leave your comments, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit that bell icon so you can get notifications as well. Thanks a lot, everyone. Take care.